Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Man, what a wild Wednesday we have in store. First things first, let's discuss the storms currently affecting our region. With it, we had some storms earlier on, even some of which got on the severe side with some small little hail pellets, or at least hail up to 1/4 of an inch. Now, though, we are starting to see a bit of a reprieve as our atmosphere is trying to kind of restart itself. I think as we go over the next few hours, we'll see a brief reprieve from the rain section of this little pocket that are just to the south and west of Dixon currently. But I want to take a look off towards the kind of the Iowa, Illinois, Missouri border over by that trio, as this is where our next big system is going to be making its way through. Even now, have a few severe thunderstorm warnings issued for this storm, as well as the yellow tornado watches, but all of that is to the south of our area. Winds currently out of the east as the warm front still resides well to our south, so seeing winds out of the east right around 15 to 20 or so miles per hour. Because that warm front has yet to make its way through, we are cooler than we were 24 hours ago, nearly 15 to 20 degrees cooler in fact. Temperature-wise, sitting in the lower 40s, even some upper 30s to the north up in Janesville and Monroe as well. And because of this, the actual atmosphere that we currently have is a little bit less conductive of thunderstorms. So I think because of how temperatures are, we are going to see a lot of these thunderstorms be in a weakening phase. But regardless, we are going to see those storms be on the stronger side, as there is some warmth down to the south that is below that warm front, as we're seeing temperatures in the lower 60s to the south and central portions of Illinois. Now, as we get towards 2-3 o'clock, we'll see a very brief reprieve from any showers or thunderstorms. With this, can you rule out maybe a few peaks of sunshine, and that will really help bolster kind of the atmosphere for these storms. Now, with the arrival, I think we'll start to see it across the Mississippi River right around that 3 o'clock hour, and by the time we get towards 4 or 5 o'clock, pretty much be state line wide. And luckily, these are going to be a pretty quick hitting system, as they'll be out by the time we get towards about 6 or 7 o'clock. Now, with it, we are currently in a slight 2 out of 5 risk for strong to severe thunderstorms. Really, central Illinois as well as western portions of Indiana have the highest likelihood of severe weather as well as tornado chances. But for us, well, even though we'll see some quote-unquote weakening thunderstorms, there will still be plenty enough energy in the atmosphere for us to see those strong to severe thunderstorms. All modes of severe weather are in play. Care about maybe a tornado or two. Could see a tornado outbreak down to the south and central Illinois. Again, a lot of questions for that, but for us here, I can't rule it out. For the most part, I think we'll be okay. Hail up to 1/4 in size, so can't rule out some gusty winds near 60 to 70 miles per hour. But pretty much south of the state line, everybody is in a elevated risk for all three. With up to the north, well, they are just in a low or even out of a risk as well. Now, as we head overnight tonight, the weirdness continues on as bitterly cold air will start to make its way overhead, at least for this time of year, meaning that any of the rain that we've had will quickly transition more into snowfall, and at times could even see some heavier snowfall bands, especially to the south right around I-88. And with that in mind, visibility, well, that's going to be an issue, as well as we are going to have some very strong wind gusts. When it comes to overall snowfall, while not overly impressive, I think a 1/2 of an inch to an inch is probable state line wide. That heavy band of snow, I think that will be just to the south and east, could potentially give you about 2 to 3 inches of total snowfall. But with this, like I said, winds are going to be a major factor, as a wind advisory has been issued. That will go into effect at 10 p.m. tonight through 7 a.m. tomorrow, as we could go on to see wind gusts out of the northwest at 45 miles per hour. So while the overall effects from this snowfall will be somewhat limited due to just how warm our ground is, and overall amounts aren't great, visibility, I think, will be by far the biggest issue, as those gusty winds, as well as that heavier snowfall at times, could bring our visibilities down to close to a 1/2 of a mile, if not slightly less. So overnight tonight, make sure if you have any sort of plans, give yourself plenty of time, and don't try to use your high beams if you are planning on driving during it. Tomorrow, a lot nicer of a day. While granted, still going to be on the windy side with wind gusts near 40 to 45 miles per hour out of the northwest. At least we'll see a good amount of sunshine with highs back into the middle and lower 40s. Heading into Friday, slightly warmer, still going to be on the gusty side as wind shift be back more out of the south and west. Could even see a wintry mix on the later side, as we'll get up only to a high of 57, or only we'll get up to a high of 57 degrees, a lot warmer than what we'll see here this afternoon. 45 then for us on Saturday as winds shift right back to the northwest. thanks to another system that could give us a wintry mix overnight. Progressing on into our Sunday, have another low pressure system aimed at the state line, and I think can't really rule out maybe another slight wintry mix later on, but for the most part, I think Sunday we'll see a good amount of rainfall during the day. Cloudy skies in for us on Monday, a high of 42, partly cloudy for a high of 45 on our Tuesday.